I should have said from the beginning, I'm really sorry, Freelee, if you're watching this, if I hurt your feelings or if I offended you. So a few days ago, I started getting a fair number of comments on this reel I made on Instagram. We don't care about your results, Freelee. It's just a clip from the last response I did to Freelee. Just saying that one person's results, diet results, fitness results, whatever, not terribly convincing. You can find someone with good results from virtually any diet, any lifestyle protocol. Yes, my 3-year-old is down here, so you're gonna hear lots of humming. I don't know what else. Sorry. Lots of comments from, I think, people who are fans of Freelee, so I assumed that she made some sort of video, and it turns out she did. Unnatural Vegan body shames me and calls me super bony. Wow. A patron told me not to bother watching this, but curiosity got the better of me, I guess.
Apparently she made a video response, which I'm shocked, because she said she wasn't going to respond to me anymore. It was basically too stressful or something, I think. But then the views came into it. I think she realized that the only time she really gets decent views is when she talks about me.
To be fair, I do get decent views when I talk about her. And in the waffle video, she was kind of criticizing me for not making response videos to her and implying that I was hiding something. And so then I make a response and, oh, no, it's because she just wants views. I can't win. I'm not sure what she's talking about it being stressful. I've talked about that with certain things. I said I'm not going to talk about Fully Raw Christina anymore. The stressful stuff for me is like the kid malnourishment and that sort of stuff. I can't do a lot of because it's very upsetting. I don't find Freelee stressful. I talked about this on Patreon, just saying it feels maybe not very useful because she doesn't have the influence that she used to have. And it feels like kind of low-hanging fruit, so to speak, because I mean, most people know that her sort of diet is like not healthy, right? It's not going to be convincing to 99.9% of people. But patron said I should keep making videos because it's good to do to get it out there and get people interested, because people will click on Freelee stuff, right? And maybe get them interested in veganism. But again, I was specifically told not to respond to this.
So this is a video, and in the comments, she actually body shames me. And
it says, I personally don't mind if people comment on my weight, but Swayze always speaks out against so-called body shaming. I mean, I have spoken out against fat shaming. I don't think the evidence is as strong as like the body positive movement would lead you to believe in terms of it being super detrimental. But I think we should probably err on the side of caution and just be nice. And unfortunately, shaming does sometimes work. Look at tobacco and cigarette use. That was a huge public shaming campaign and it worked. And there's some argument that like, hey, maybe we should have done that and should still be doing that with the coronavirus. Maybe we should be shaming people who have not gotten vaccinated. But yeah, clearly she's talking about this comment that I left, which we'll get to in a moment.
We'll talk about that comment soon, but let's have a quick listen to what she has to say here.
She acts like we're just ignoring her results.
She acts like we're just ignoring her results. That is just pure assumption, and it's actually an incorrect assumption. I don't feel like that.
No, we just don't care about your results, Freelee, because...
What? Why is she saying we? Why does she pretend she's speaking for everyone?
I mean, fair enough, I guess, although I don't say I'm speaking for everyone, but clearly there are a lot of people who do not like Freelee's diet and do not like the way she promotes her diet. You can find video after video after video from people talking about how ridiculous her diet is, people who have tried it and had less than stellar results on the diet. And it's not just that, it's we as in people who recognize that one person's results just aren't that convincing. Unfortunately, a lot of people do find that convincing. Look at all the Kim Kardashian stuff. I don't know why that's the name that came to mind, but if like a Kim Kardashian's workout to get her body came out, you're going to have so many people doing that workout so they can look like Kim Kardashian. I mean, clearly this is very effective marketing. And I'm just saying there are those of us who know better.
That everyone agrees with her. It's like, we the people against Freelee. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe she's referring to her multiple personalities. I don't know. It's just strange to refer as we. You should be speaking for yourself. Of course, there's going to be people who agree with me, people who disagree with me just naturally. but we can only ever speak for ourselves. But I find that to be like a manipulative technique.
Does anyone else find that manipulative or uncomfortable when I say we? I don't know. I'm not. I don't. I don't think I've ever seen that criticism that like I come across as speaking for everyone. I hope I don't come across that way. I mean, I do like to point out, as I did, I think in the last video, that, you know, the way she talks, like what she does is very normal and what the rest of us do is so shocking, right? Like when she's shocked that I have coffee and a protein bar. And it's like, well, lots of people do that. Very few people have fruit for breakfast like she does. And I'm not saying that's an argument for or against the way that I eat or the way that she eats. I'm just saying that often the way she presents things is as if it's so obvious when it couldn't be further from that. Even though I'm not speaking for everyone, I'm speaking for a lot of people. A lot of people find this diet very, very odd and not appealing and not healthy. Just look at one person and go, oh, they're doing great. Well, that's the diet I should eat. Because
What? Okay, firstly, people do care about my results. That's why I show them over the years.
That's supposed to be a before picture, as like she looks bad, 24 years old, non-vegan. In what world does she look bad or I don't know, overweight? That she looks great there. I just think that is such a horrible message to send to people, that this body is undesirable from a health standpoint, or literally any standpoint. I think that is encouraging this obsession with leanness or boniness, as I'll get to later, that Freelee has. And I think it's awful. There's no reason to be leaner than that. She looks fantastic. Now, looks can be deceiving. She could have been, I don't know, an alcoholic or something, who knows? But in terms of BMI, there is no doubt that her BMI was within the normal range there.
Blood tests, fitness, in a bikini, basically. People do care about your results.
People do, unfortunately. We should care about the science. There is no science supporting a fruitarian diet as the healthiest diet.
What's she talking about? Like one person? Is she delusional? I don't really get this. I've shared many testimonials over the years. And if you include like the comments on my videos, there's thousands of positive testimonials over the years. The
plural of anecdote is not data. Again, we have no evidence supporting this diet. We have every reason to believe that this is a substandard, suboptimal diet for various reasons I've talked about in other videos.
But on the flip side, I haven't seen much from Swayze, have we? Have we? I really haven't.
Because I think that's manipulative. I mean, number one, I'm not promoting a diet. I'm just promoting veganism, so I'm not even sure what testimonials I would be getting from people. But yeah, I find that incredibly manipulative to just promote the good things that people have said about a diet. I mean, again, I don't promote a diet, so I'm not sure what she's talking about. Maybe she's talking about my own personal results, my own personal blood work and stuff. I've talked about before, I don't really believe in getting yearly or regular blood work. I think if you need to do that, there's probably something wrong, told to by a doctor, because you have whatever, you know, maybe you have what's the iron overload disease, where you have to make sure that you are not getting too much iron. You actually have to have some blood drawn regularly. But just like for health, just to get a bunch of blood work done regularly, I don't know if that's what Freelee's doing, what she's promoting, but there are some vegans who promote that. I think it's an unnecessary use of resources. Somebody's paying for that.
Yeah, she might say, oh, I'm not promoting a diet. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's very clear that your diet is a high-protein, bioengineered, drug-filled beige diet.
What was that? Was that supposed to be a fart? Drug fueled. Hey! You know, sure, I promote protein powders. I think they're fine unless you don't want to eat them. I promote mock meats if you don't want to eat them or are allergic, whatever. I mean, that's the issue. I'm saying that, hey, this is what works for me, but if you don't like these foods, then don't eat them. I mean, I don't think I've ever said in the last several years, I mean, since I was eating the way Freelee eats, that, hey, this is the way you eat for perfect health. I think the one kind of standard would be meet your nutrient needs, protein, right? I don't think anyone should be trying to consume really low protein, again, unless your doctor's told you to, if you have some kidney issues or something. Freelee saying this is the way that everyone should eat, this is the way the best way to eat. I'm just saying, hey, this is what works for me. And here's the science on other diet stuff, other stuff that is probably very important, things that experts are saying, the, medical nutrition consensus, not just me. And then if it's something that, I'm doing that's maybe outside of that, like salt, I always make sure to mention that, like, hey, the consensus is to eat low salt. I personally don't believe the evidence supports that, so that's not what I do. But again, that's going against consensus. Even low fat, I'm not against a low fat diet. I am in the way that she presents it. Everyone should eat low fat. I think that's pretty silly. But people have different preferences and they find different things work for them in terms of helping them maintain a healthy weight. And for some, eating lower fat helps them to do that. I would be concerned, and I think most experts would be concerned if you're eating super, super low fat like Freelee. But again, one of the most important things is being at a healthy weight. And if eating lower fat helps someone do that, that's probably good. Point is, it's nuanced, right? Nutrition is very nuanced. There are basic things that virtually all of us should follow, but there's also a lot of individual preference, even genetic differences that can lead us to ultimately follow slightly different diets. And luckily with veganism, we can do different diets. You can eat lower fat, you can eat higher fat, you can eat higher protein, you can even do vegan keto. What diet would you choose? Because you can find a person on any diet who is thriving and doing great and whose blood results look great.
I challenge that one. I definitely challenge that one. You can find anyone on any diet. This is a crazy video. This is actually quite shocking.
Never forget the Twinkie guy. Now, obviously, if he continued to just eat Twinkies, he would be in a whole world of trouble. And as I go on to say, you get into a rough patch, I think, with like the keto kind of carnivore people whenever they show their lipid panel. It sucks. So certainly not any diet, but all of the popular diets and the things that most people are promoting, yeah, you will find people who have really good results on those diets.
I challenge anyone to find someone my age, in my 40s, okay, who's been following, female in their 40s, who's been following their lifestyle, consistently posting about it, what I eat in a day videos, consistent, like putting up blood tests, and, showing results like in a bikini.
Isn't honest enough to post her blood work. I don't have any blood work to post because, again, I don't get regular blood work. I'm not going to waste resources on something that's not particularly important. I probably will get a blood lipid panel done probably within the next few years. And I'm sure I'll do a video talking about that if and when I do. But yeah, it's funny. She was talking about me assuming things about her. But now she's just assuming that this is an honesty issue.
Remember, this is almost like 15 years I've been on a fruit-based diet.
I'm not shaming her for showing her long-term results. I'm glad there are long-term vegans saying, hey, look, I'm still vegan and I'm healthy. I think that's really important because this is still considered a fringe way to eat and an unhealthy way to eat. Not Freelee's way, but just veganism in general. The difference is the way she promotes it as this is the best way to eat. This is how everyone should eat.
I can never meet her unrealistic standards on what is okay, what is sufficient to prove that this diet and lifestyle is actually healthy. I can never do it because she has some bias agenda and like seeming like vendetta against me. That's what it seems like.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like the alt med people who will say, oh, this thing works, whatever, homeopathy, you name it. A study will be done that's like, no, it doesn't do that. And then they're like, well, that's because science actually can't prove what we're saying is a thing, right? I mean, that's almost always how it goes. That's what it sounds like to me. She can't do anything to meet my standards. No, she can't. She doesn't have the expertise or the money, I'm sure, to run any sort of study on this. And even one study wouldn't be particularly meaningful. Yeah, my standards are pretty high when it comes to nutrition, and I think they should be. When we're talking about public health guidelines, nutrition guidelines for the general population, the standards should be fairly high. And by high, I mean at least more than just a few people on the internet saying, I've been doing this for 10 plus years, and that's it. Like, that's the evidence. I think we can do better than that. I don't know how many times I and others can say that we're not interested in your results Freely.
I don't know how many times people can ask for my results, Swayze. So many times. So please just speak for yourself, maybe.
Okay, people ask me for lots of things all the time. It doesn't mean you have to provide it, you know, and it doesn't mean they're right to ask. This isn't just Freely. It's also us. It's also the audience encouraging this, asking like, how did you get your results? I want to look just like you. And then going, oh, okay, well, here you go. Instead of, well, wait a minute, like, what's your bone structure? What's your propensity for losing weight? Is it easy for you to lose weight? When you do lose weight, like, what size do you end up at before you start becoming ravenous and wanting to eat more food, right? I mean, that would be amazing, but that's not what we see. And it's not just Freely, right? There are lots of people on YouTube, on Instagram who do this with diet and with fitness. We have a really important responsibility and a really good opportunity to say no. You know, yes, this works for me. Maybe it'll work for you. I don't know. Obviously, genes play a role to some degree. You know, Freely has never, ever been overweight. I've never seen a photo of her where she was actually overweight. But of course, no one wants to hear that, and you can't sell books. Go fruit yourself. Maybe, possibly, it'll work for you. I don't know. No, you've got to be super confident. This is the way. This is the way. This is how you eat to be super lean and healthy. That's how you sell ebooks. To be clear, I'm not saying that that's her only goal is to make money. I don't think that at all. She cares about animals. I think she's an ethical vegan for sure. And I think she, on some level, does want to help people. It's just so much easier to promote this really, really simplified message. And it's so much easier to just kind of denigrate people who don't do well on the diet or who don't like the diet.
Tell me in the comments, do you care about how someone looks after following a diet for like 15 years? I think it matters somewhat.
It's no different than with science. It's no different than with studies, right? You can't just look at one study, the one that says what you want it to say. You have to look at all of them. Well, if you're going to look at testimonials, I feel like you have to look at all of them. And thank God I'm not seeing the light and trying this diet again while I'm pregnant.
Okay, so see, this is when it comes to what this is really about, really. It's about her and about her failure on the lifestyle. And a number of you have mentioned that to me, that she seems to be upset that she failed the lifestyle. And
Wait. Partner said that he wouldn't let her do this diet because she would get too lean? No, he's never said that. No. What? I think I made a comment that like he would be very unhappy if I were that lean. Really, not everyone wants to be super lean. I don't want to be super lean. My partner would be very upset if I got super lean. I'm sure people aren't trying to misrepresent. They hear me make a comment like that, just kind of a funny comment, like partner would be really unhappy if I were as lean as Freely, and they take it to mean, oh, he said that she can't do the diet because she'll be too lean. Do you see what I mean? It's really easy for people to make that leap. Partner doesn't tell me to do shit.
It's very healthy to be fruit-based while you're pregnant. And there's many examples. All right, let's have a look at this comment, by the way. Her results are horrible.
Which I don't agree with, which I say in the comment that she's going to get to in a minute. There are definitely comments from people who, in the same way that people are misrepresenting me because they already probably don't like me and it's just harder to hear what I'm actually saying, I think people who don't like Freely, it's easier to view her as really unattractive or like she's deteriorating or something because they already don't like her and they don't like her diet. And I think that's unfair, right? It's unfair towards me. It's also unfair towards Freely. And also that stuff's subjective. You know, they could honestly feel that way. But I think, again, a lot of it is coming from not liking her and they're letting that get the better of their judgment. And also weird conspiracy shit. Like she's not showing her face in videos anymore. Well, maybe it's just easier. I mean, it is easier. It's way easier if she's just doing this, recording the screen and then talking. It's way easier to do that and to edit that than if you're also recording yourself. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's just the reason, so she can put out more videos.
She constantly brings up her results as if it's a convincing argument for a fruitarian lifestyle. It really isn't. She knows that I'm not a fruitarian. I don't promote fruitarianism. You know, it's a frugivore diet. She knows, see these slight manipulations that she does?
I mean, I guess she does eat greens. I really wasn't trying to be manipulative there, but yeah, she's right. Fruitarian, you don't eat any sort of greens. You only eat the fruit of the plant. So she is right there. So I guess frugivore, that's the name of the channel, right? Frugivore diet. So that is the term she's going by. So my bad. This person said her results are also horrible and concerning. She thinks she looks fit and vibrant like in 2015. Her results should scare people away from a fruit diet. It was her only selling point, and now that her fitness and beauty are gone, is really sad to witness. I just think that's way over the top. A few people actually were questioning why in the recent thumbnails I use an older picture of her. And number one, it was just like a good picture, and I don't know, partner cut that out for me, and so we've just been using that one. But yeah, they were like, this is really inaccurate because she doesn't look like that anymore or something. And I was like, what? I think she looks like virtually the same. I mean, a little older, but I don't... What? So again, like just weirdness happening. But I think this is the one I responded to.
She looks good, fruitarian or not. No reason for being that skinny or eat a weird fruit diet, but seems a bit harsh to say that her beauty is gone. And Unnatural Vegan says agreed. I don't know to what part she's agreeing to.
So I was agreeing that she looks good, fruitarian or not. No reason to be that skinny or eat a weird fruit diet, but seems a bit harsh to state that her beauty was gone. Yeah, I was agreeing to the entire comment.
She's super bony.
If we're not interested in how you look.
Wow. She's super bony. So it's like saying to someone, she's super fat.
This is the comment that people are really taken aback by and saying is body shaming. She always talks about being lean. I mean, those images she showed earlier as like, you know, look how great she looked. That's very, very bony to me. I've talked about before, she's got, you know, the shoulders get very sharp and you've got kind of that divot under the arm. Super lean, if you aren't super muscular, which she clearly is not, means being bony. You have less body fat on you to cover up some of the protrusions. You are going to look bony. Now, again, it's subjective. Someone could say, no, I don't think she looks that bony. But to me, yeah, she looks super bony. She's super lean. This is the look she's going for. This isn't just some random YouTuber talking about crocheting and I'm just like, you're super bony. I mean, what? Like, what? No, this is someone whose whole thing is being lean and equating being super lean with being super healthy and constantly presuming that everyone wants to be lean like her.
And she's been trying to get lean for forever.
She got on to me for assuming, well, Freelee, maybe don't assume that everyone finds this look desirable. It's the same with fat shaming. People saying, oh, it's fine to be fat. I don't believe it's wrong to say, no, actually, it's not. You know, if you just want to live your life that way, okay, fine. But as soon as you start promoting that as a healthy way to be, and it's something that other people find desirable, of course you're going to get pushback, as well you should.
Look, this is how I naturally am. This is how my body naturally, the weight that it naturally settles at. It's been over a decade I've been this weight, and the reason I know that is because I'm eating sufficient calories. I have great blood test results. You know, my energy and my fitness is great. So this is how I'm meant to be, a lean frugivore.
And again, that's totally fine, but that's not the issue. The issue is that she is putting up her weight and how she looks as the ideal, and as people want to look like this and people want to be lean. She constantly talks about being lean now, and when she was with Durian Rider, that was like this is the word they used maybe most often other than like metabolic damage. It was being lean. As soon as you start to do that, you are going to receive pushback. I think it's totally unfair for us to just have to button our lips and pretend that, yeah, we all wish we looked like you and we think it's totally healthy, but we just can't do it or something. It's shaming. It's not fat shaming. It's shaming. It's being an asshole.
This is my natural body. Sure, I can get even more muscle, but I would say I easily have more muscle than Swayze herself. You know, she just has more fat covering her arms. You know, like So she's super bony, in my opinion, but her face and hair look pretty good for 40 plus. She would hate to hear it, but she looks like a fit 40-year-old. Not sure how long that will last though. Low body fat and aging really don't mix.
I'm super bony, but I also look like a fit 40-year-old. Can this woman contradict herself anymore? I should have said from the beginning, I'm really sorry, Freelee, if you're watching this, if I hurt your feelings or if I offended you. I truly didn't mean it that way. I equate bony with leanness, and you're very lean. So maybe we just have different understanding of bony. I mean, I do think she looks fit, certainly better than your average 40-year-old American or Australian.
All about aesthetics.
We're not interested in how you look.
It's like she doesn't care. She doesn't care about your health as you age. Like, having low body fat, or having just sufficient body fat, that's what I would call it, and that's what I have, is healthy. You know, it's not healthy to be overweight, hence over, the word overweight.
The presumption being that I'm encouraging being overweight. I encourage a normal BMI. But yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't care about aesthetics to some degree. And clearly she does as well. Having that low body fat is really rough as we age, because we lose collagen, and it can really enhance that lack of youthfulness, and can be really dangerous as well. Once you get to a certain age and you're at increased risk for cancer, you really don't want to be at a super low weight and be diagnosed with cancer or have a fall, right? You're more likely to break a hip, to fracture something, if you're at a really low body weight. It's healthy to keep muscle as you age, not fat. It's both. We want muscle. You don't want sarcopenia. You don't want muscle loss. I mean, we all have it to some degree, but you want to maintain muscle. You want to keep resistance training, but you also want some fat as well. I mean, this is well known. This has been well known for a very long time, that when it comes to certain conditions, you want to have some fat on your body. You don't want to be super, super lean. So I guess that's it. Again, I really wasn't trying to be offensive, but I mean, sometimes we aren't trying to be offensive, and we are. So again, Freelee, I'm really sorry if I made you feel, if I hurt your feelings. You did tell me to speak for myself, and I would just say maybe try to do better speaking for yourself when you keep promoting leanness under this assumption that we all want to be lean. You have to realize that a lot of us really don't want that. I mean, you're on Instagram. I'm sure you see the aesthetic that's popular right now, right? It's like this. It's big butts, often surgically enhanced butts, but that's a whole nother thing. And also try not to focus so much on looks and, you know, like the Yovana video where you were comparing all this different footage from her and trying to show that she looks worse now. I think everyone deserves sympathy and deserves a fair shake and to listen, you know, to be heard, including Freelee. But it is hard when you're talking about someone who does stuff like that Yovana video. You know, it is hard to take her criticism here seriously, to take her cries of body shaming seriously, when, I mean, we all know that the stuff she does and the way she talks about people and constantly promotes leanness. And again, like that before picture, it's really hard for me to sincerely care that she thinks I body shamed her, but that's not fair. Just because someone is doing one thing doesn't mean it's okay for me to do another thing. And, you know, if that many people think that I am body shaming, I mean, I did see one comment from someone who didn't seem to be like a Freelee fan and was just like, hey, I really think this is, you know, kind of shitty. So you know, again, I'm really sorry, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I just know how harmful an obsession with leanness can be. And I hate the idea that she is potentially encouraging that in other young women, particularly those who do want to have kids, because there's no question that this diet is totally inappropriate if you are looking to conceive, or if you're pregnant, or if you're breastfeeding. Should I finish? Am I done? Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Comments and questions, of course. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. You can click the bell if you want to be notified when I upload. Thank you so much to patrons at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. If you want to support the channel there, you totally can. I do 5 exclusive videos there a month for $5 plus patrons. Anyway, thanks again, guys. New video soon. Do you want to say bye?